Hey everyone, as you know, WireGuard is one of the fastest and most modern VPN protocols. It's super lightweight, very secure, and works perfectly on MikroTik routers. In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up a WireGuard tunnel on your MikroTik router with two ways. First, we'll use the WG import feature for a quick one-click setup. And then I'll show you the manual way so you can exactly understand what's happening under the hood. And make sure to watch the video until the end because I'm going to show you how to use policy-based routing too. And this is great because depending on your scenario, you can decide whether to send all your LAN traffic through the WireGuard tunnel or just a specific part of it. Before we get started, if you enjoyed these technical guides, please subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. Alright, let's jump into Winbox and start. So this is my MikroTik router inside my home office and it is connected to the internet with the default configuration. I want to connect this router to a WireGuard server and based on my need, I want to send all traffic to the internet destinations or maybe some part of it through this tunnel. For this demonstration, I set up a WireGuard panel on my Ubuntu server, but if you're using a WireGuard configuration from any VPN provider, like NordVPN, ExpressVPN or whatever, the process is exactly the same. So let's start with creating a new WireGuard configuration file and test it in my system. So let's click on new client and name it Ramtin. Click on create and download the configuration file. Before importing to WireGuard client, let's open iplocation.com to verify my public IP address. You can see my public IP address starts with 139 and I'm in Germany. So let's go on to this WireGuard client on my Mac OS and click on add, click on import tunnel from file and the file name is ramtin.conf and click on allow. Then click on activate and wait for a few seconds. From these two parameters, data received and sent, I can verify the tunnel has been established. So let's verify it. Let's open iplocation.com in a new tab and you can see my public IP address has been changed to IP address in New Jersey. Okay, so the configuration is working perfectly. Let's disconnect it and verify my public IP address is back again in Germany. Okay, so let's get back here to Winbox. You can see in system and then resources, I'm using RouterOS version 7.20.6. And just a reminder, MikroTik introduced WireGuard since RouterOS version 7. So if you're using RouterOS version 6 on your device, you can't see this WireGuard menu here. You need to upgrade your RouterOS to version 7. And another note that I need to mention is here in WireGuard, you can see a new button here, WG import. If you're using Winbox version 3, you can see this button above this table. By this WG import, you can import your WireGuard configuration on your MikroTik with single click without any other manual configuration. So MikroTik made it very easy. But in this video, I will do it in both ways. So if you're using an older RouterOS version, you can do it manually on your MikroTik. Let's get back here to the file and open it in my VS Code and see the content of this file. So here I need to open it with VS Code and you can see the WireGuard configuration file. Basically, this configuration file has two parts. The first part is about my side of the tunnel. I mean the WireGuard interface that will be created on our MikroTik. It has a private key, private IP address and a DNS. And the second part is about the peer, the other side of the tunnel, the WireGuard server. You can see public key here, pre-shared key, allowed IP address, persistent keep alive. Let's make it 10 seconds. And you can see the endpoint here. It's my server address and the listening port here. Let's change the order of these last two lines. So make sure MikroTik reads it perfectly and remove this empty line here. So I save the file and now I want to drag and drop this configuration file to my Winbox. Here you can see my file is here, ramtin.conf. And again in WireGuard menu, I click on WG import and then select my WireGuard file, click on select and then WG import. After 1 second, you can see there is one WireGuard interface here in the first tab. The name is WG1. It generates a random listen port, and the private key is here, and based on this the public key is generated too. Okay, and in the second tab you can see there is one peer. Let's open it. You can see the public key here, endpoint port, allowed address, pre-shared key, and other information that we had in this configuration file has been added to my MikroTik configuration automatically. From these two parameters here, RX and TX, I can verify the tunnel has been established. Okay, let's check something else. Here in IP and addresses, you can see that private IP address is on this WG interface. Okay, let's check the connectivity with ping command. So let's open a new terminal in my Winbox and ping the gateway 10801. You can see I have reply. Let's disable this interface just for a second to verify the connectivity. Okay, you can see request timed out, and again I need to enable it, and you can see the reply is appearing. So till now we created our WireGuard interface and did all of the configuration with one click with WG import feature. So let's remove all we did, and this time I want to config this WireGuard tunnel on this MikroTik manually. Let's delete the interface, the peer, and then IP addresses. Let's remove this private IP address here. This time I want to do it completely manually, step by step. So let's move this VS Code here and let's start. The first step is to create the WireGuard interface. So in WireGuard, and then the first tab, click on new, and let's name it WG-1, and the listen port is not important. The only parameters here that we need to be accurate is private key. So let's copy it from here and paste it. So click on apply, and you can see a random port has been generated and public keys here too. Okay, and let's go for the next step. The next step is to set a private IP address on this interface. The private IP address is here, and I copied it here in IP and then addresses. Click on new. The address is here and the interface is WG-1. Okay, it's done, and the last step is to create the peer. Here in WireGuard again, in the second tab, I click on new, and then the interface will be WG-1. I need the public key here, so let's copy this public key and paste it here. And the endpoint is my server address, so let's copy this part, and here's my server address. I don't need port here, so let's paste port in the next field. Allowed address is 40/0, and pre-shared key is here. Let's copy it from this config file and paste it in the pre-shared key field, and the persistent keep alive is 10 seconds. After clicking on apply, you can see RX and TX. So the tunnel has been established, and let's test the ping again. You can see I have ping to my WireGuard server. Alright, so at this point our WireGuard tunnel is connected and active. But here's the thing. Even though the tunnel is up, none of our LAN users are using it yet. And their traffic is still going out through the normal local internet. This is where we need to decide how to route our traffic. Depending on your needs, you can decide to send everything through the tunnel or just some part of it. For example, you might want to create an address list for a specific country or a list of websites that have geo restrictions like Netflix, and tell MikroTik to route only those specific requests through the WireGuard tunnel. Policy-based routing in MikroTik is actually very simple and cool once you learn it. If you're interested in some videos specifically about different PBR scenarios, just let me know in the comments below. But for today, I'm going to start by routing all of our LAN traffic through the WireGuard tunnel first. Then I'll show you how to make an exception for just one specific website. This way you'll get the logic and you can apply it on whatever scenario you have. So let's head back to the Winbox and get this done. So for this policy-based routing, I need to go to IP and then firewall to create one Mangle rule. Here you can see in the first tab, I have some filter rules. These are MikroTik default firewall filter rules, and I didn't disable them. But now I need to disable this one, the fast track rule, which belongs to forward chain. Fast track action has conflict with Mangle rule that we are going to create it. So let's disable it, and don't worry, it doesn't degrade your MikroTik security. So let's go to Mangle tab and create a new Mangle rule. The chain will be pre-routing. Actually, we're talking about packets before routing decision. And the source address is our local network here in IP and then address. You can see I'm using the default configuration and our network address is here. So let's type it here at the source address field and let's copy it for the next field, which is destination address. But this time we want to exclude this destination. So we are talking about packets that coming from our local network and going to anywhere except our local network. And the action will be mark routing. Here I need to create another routing table. Here in routing and then tables, I need to click on new and, for example, name it VPN and check this FIB here. Okay, so here let's go back to our Mangle rule and the action will be mark routing and new routing mark will be VPN. So let's review it. We are talking about a pre-routing chain before routing decision in MikroTik router, and the source address is our local network and the destination is anywhere except this local network, and the action is mark routing and the new routing mark will be VPN. The next step is to create a default route for this VPN routing table. So let's go here in IP and then routes. Click on new and then let me click on new. The destination address is here 40/0 and the gateway will be our WireGuard interface. And the routing table is VPN. Okay, it's done and the configuration is completed. But we need to change some configuration here so our client in local network have internet access. So let's take a look here in IP and then firewall again. In this tab, NAT, you can see our masquerade rule. The outgoing interface here is a list, the WAN list. So we need to add our WireGuard interface to our WAN list. Here in interfaces menu and the second tab, you can see the Ether1 is in this WAN list. So let's add WireGuard interface to this list. Click on new, the list will be WAN and the interface is WG-1. So it is completed and now I expect my client has internet access, ping Cloudflare DNS, and you can see the client is getting reply. But some other minor changes are needed here. I need to make sure the MTU is safe. So let's get back here in our WireGuard interface and change the MTU value to 1360. It's just for safety to prevent fragmentation, and it's also better to add another Mangle rule to make sure everything will working smoothly. So here IP and then firewall and again Mangle. Let's add this one. It is optional, guys, but it's better to create this rule too. The chain will be forward and protocol will be TCP. And outgoing interface will be our WireGuard interface here, and in the advanced tab I need to specify TCP flags, and the TCP flag will be the first one, the SYN flag. Okay, and the action will be change MSS and let's clamp to PMTU. Okay, it's done and you can see packets will be matched here. If I ping somewhere again, I expect packets get matched. Yes, you can see they're matching with this rule. And let's test our MTU before opening the web pages. Ping -d -s and the MTU size will be 1332 and the destination will be Cloudflare DNS. Okay, it is working smoothly. And let's check a web page here. Let's open IP location once again. I expect, yes, to be the US address. But let's do some other change to our rules. For example, I don't want to route all traffic through this tunnel. Let's go here to our firewall rules, and in the address list tab, I click on new. I want to create a new address list here. For example, let's name it no VPN. Okay, and let's add a website in this list. For example, iplocation.net this time. Okay, you can see it dynamically added the IP addresses of this website. Make sure you have DNS on your MikroTik here. IP DNS. I have this DNS server on my MikroTik. Okay, so any traffic going to these destinations, I don't want to go through the tunnel. So let's get back here in the Mangle tab and open this rule. In the general, I want to exclude this address list. So if the address list is no VPN, I don't want to get routed through this tunnel. So let's review this rule again. And the source address is our local network. The destination is anywhere except our local network, and also anywhere except the destination addresses in this list get marked in our VPN routing table and routes through the VPN tunnel. Okay, so let's verify this one too. Let's get back here and open iplocation.net this time. I expect my Germany IP address here and not the US IP. Okay, so let's click on this captcha and you can see my Germany IP address here. But if I open IP location once again, you can see my USA address. And that's it. We've successfully set up the WireGuard tunnel on MikroTik router and configured policy-based routing to control our traffic. As you saw, MikroTik makes it really easy. Whether you're using the WG import button or do it manually, it's very easy. Now you have a fast and secure connection and you have the power to decide exactly how to use it. I hope this guide was helpful for you. If it was, please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more MikroTik and networking tutorials. If you run into any issues with MTU or your firewall rules, just leave a comment below and I'll do my best to help you out. Thanks for watching NetAdmin Hub. I'm Ramtin and I'll see you in the next one.